Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Gina Cook, or good afternoon, whatever time you're watching it. I'm Gina Cook, host of the Midday Show with the People Station, and this is Mr. Wilbert Lewis.
How you doing? How you doing?
Jack of many trades. You've
worn
many hats in the community, from the NAACP president, and also you have a new foundation, the Love Foundation.
Life Opportunity Visual Enhancement Foundation. We call it the Love Foundation because everything's about love. Without love, we can't accomplish anything.
Amen, brother. And we sure need a whole lot more of it. That's for sure. We're coming together because you guys already know I'm very proactive when it comes to voting, and always trying to remind you guys to get out and register to vote, especially the younger ones, because you guys are going to ultimately run the world anyway. So you might as well get involved when it comes to letting your voice be heard, because voting is just that, literally having a choice as to who is going to take care of your state, your city, or the country.
Think about this. Think about this. I look at voting like this. You know, say for instance, someone come into your home, and you're sitting on the couch watching television, and as they come into your home, they taking things that you work hard for out of your home, and you sit there and observe them, but you don't move because you have been socially conditioned not to move. So this is how voting is. Voting is a socially conditioned tool that has been used over the years that some people just don't go vote because they feel like they vote it's not worth anything. So when you're in your home and someone coming in your home and taking everything out your home and you don't move, and then after they move, then you call the law and say, hey, someone broke into my home. So if someone use your vote and they don't use your vote to your best interest, it's like breaking into your home. They still use your tax dollars. They still use your tax dollars because they're making the laws in your city. Yeah. The small ordinance laws, like the city ordinance laws. I mean, your elected officials create that.
That's right. And it's ordinance laws could be anything from people parking junk cars in the front yard or not cleaning up their yards. There's all kinds of ordinances, and you have a say-so on all of this. But you have to vote, and I love that analogy.
Think about this. We gave empowerment workshop last week on actions. Every action have consequences. So, but it was on the City Ordinance Chapter 5, which is bicycle, skateboards, and non-motorized vehicles. In that 19 page ordinance, 17 of the pages were strictly on bicycles and about 3 pages on skateboards. And the young men that was there from 7 to 17 and their parents was unaware of the laws. You know, people would come to me and say, well, Mr. Lewis, now my son have gotten stopped riding a bicycle. Well, I said, well, what did he do wrong? Yeah. Did he do anything wrong to be stopped? And they unaware of the ordinance.
Right, right. And so these things are easily accessed through the Secretary of State websites.
Listen, if you go to the City of Lake Charles, where you pay your water bill, right? Right under your water bill is the ordinance. You can click on that and all the ordinance will come up. And if you research that in your home with your family and friends, then you'll know why you're being stopped with a bicycle. You know, I did not know that from Kirby to Mill Street, you couldn't ride a skateboard nowhere on Ryan Street. You know, I didn't know that if you put bicycles together, and then bicycles have not been inspected by the city of Lake Charles, and you have a different registration from the frame and the seat, it's a possibility it could be $75 fine or 10 days in jail. You know, and they don't push that ordinance a lot. Right. But what if they did?
If they did, there'd be a lot of people paying fines and going to jail. So it's, in other words, what we're trying to do is to remind people to be aware. Do these simple things. Like he said, City of Lake Charles will reveal the ordinances. There's all kinds of websites for the various elections and whatnot. And let's be aware that some of these elections, they're counting on you to sit back and say, well, my vote isn't going to count, because they're not considering you anyway.
And the reason why we started this Love the Vote Challenge was because a no vote is a valuable vote to someone else.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so what about your interests? You know, someone else always got self-interest and self-gratifications. So they depend on you not voting.
That's right.
So we challenge people to make a vote, make a challenge video, right? Download it to any type of social media, especially Facebook, and challenge their family and friends to get out to vote.
So tell them real quickly.
The Love the Vote Challenge. What we're asking you to do is challenge your family and friends to get out to vote. And all you have to do is download a video, a challenge video, to your Facebook page. And what you're doing is you're raising awareness to the lowest percentages of voters in our parish, in Calcasieu Parish, which is the African American voters. if you look at today's local paper, they have all the percentages of voters broken down, and I think it's on page A3.
Okay.
And it's a powerful statement, and they highlighting African American voters. So that means it tells you something. If you have African American voters highlighted in black, and they focusing on African American voters, then your vote must mean something to someone, or your no vote means something to someone.
And that's even louder than words.
Yes,
the no vote, because when you add up the amount of us in various communities versus how many of us actually turn out and vote, imagine what we could do if everybody went and voted, or 80% even went out and voted. We could move mountains. So we have to realize the importance of voting. And I love, again, the analogy of somebody coming in your house and taking everything you own and you sitting there, because that's basically what you're doing when you don't go vote. And you can say what you want, but that's basically it's a cop-out, because there's 30 other people saying I'm not going to go vote either. So that's 30 votes that didn't even go to the polls.
And the thing is,
it's the number is far more startling than that. But it's just you it's too easy to go vote now.
If you live in a parish like Calcasieu Parish, right? But we may not agree with everything that someone does, but we should respect that person. And as we respect those people that we disagree with, what we're saying is that we accept diversity of culture, of expressions, and experiences.
Right.
And that's the only way as a select group of people can really function in a society. I may not agree with you, but I do see the good in you.
And I like that too. All right, you guys. So coming up, the upcoming election is October 24th. It's actually a primary election for the gubernatorial seat, which is the governor's office. If you just, that's the easiest way, the governor's race. There are several candidates.
For real, we have
running
police jury election.
And that as well. But the main, that's why they call it the gubernatorial. But yes, police jury, and what else? There's something else.
And also we have the sheriff. You got a lot of people running unopposed. You have the clerk running unopposed. You have a lot of seats that's running unopposed. Well, right now
there's a variation.
Right now they focus on the Secretary of State.
Okay.
You have the Secretary of State.
That's right.
You have the police jury election. You have the governor's election.
There's several.
And you have the Bessie Board election. So you have many people that's on the ballot that you may not hear about, that you really need to look at that any website you can get to, or just pull up KPLC or whatever and look at it. And it would enlighten you on who's running for what office.
Who's running, and that's another thing. Again, and you've finished my point. Though it's called the gubernatorial primary, there are several different elections going on within that election. And I will have a link for you to click on to find out who the candidates are, what the races are, and whatnot. But you can also download simple apps like GoVote.com. And there's GEAUX vote.com. I'll have the link within this post.
And
but
it's very important also, Gina, that they have to September the 23rd if they want to register to be able to vote in the October 24th election.
Absolutely.
So if you have someone as the age of 18 or be 18 before the election that is eligible to vote,
they need to go register.
Need to register to vote.
And I will also include all the deadlines, not only to register to be able to vote in the primary and the general election, but also the presidential election coming up next year and whatnot. And various informations about that. So also the early voting and all of that. The dates and everything are going to be within this post. But the main thing is please get out and register to vote. If you're not registered, if you've changed your address or whatnot, you might want to just call the Register of Voters office. I have their number, 437-3572. It's also going to be within this post. And just say, hey, I moved, just want to update my information. Make sure you have a valid ID. Don't give them any reason to turn you around when you go to actually vote. All right. And these are simple things that you could do. You can even register to vote online. They make it so simple for you to register to vote. You really have no excuse not to. We can't afford for you not to. Everybody needs to be a part of this, no matter what your ethnic background is, no matter what your educational background is. They also have absentee voting where seniors, if they're disabled, or just don't have access to transportation and whatnot, you can apply for absentee voting ballot, and they will mail it to your house, and you just mail it back. I mean, it's really that simple. We have voter registration cards in the front door. So when you come and pick
Yes.
up your prize, pick up a paper and register to vote and drop it off to the courthouse on the second floor, right?
That's
or
right.
third floor?
That's right.
Second or
The
third floor?
courthouse.
Yeah, but I tell you what, man, it's imperative that you vote. And we are definitely going to remind you to upload a video. Hey, you guys are on Snapchat and,
That's right.
and
That's
Instagram
right.
and selfies and all of this. Let's do something that's worth something,
So we
that
challenge
really means
you right
something.
now to take
That's
the Love
right.
the Vote challenge and challenge your family and friends to go out and vote.
And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. Thank you so much, Wilbert, for stopping by. It's always a pleasure.
Thank
you guys, I'm going to have the Register of Voter, Angie Quinalty, coming in real soon to talk about the importance of voting and also to give great information and resources of which you could get details about the candidates and whatnot. But just do the right thing. Get out and vote.
Vote,
okay?
vote.
I'm Gina Cook with Wilbert Lewis, and we're the People's Station, 107 JAMZ. All right.